Hey y'all, it's me Nini. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I'll be making some personal lasagnas in my Ninja Foodi. In my kitchen, we like to use a variety of kitchen gadgets to cook and bake with. So this video, I'm using not just my Ninja Foodi, but my electric skillet. What you guys saw me use here was some olive oil that was infused with rosemary and some avocado oil. Personally, I love me a good infused oil. It just helps like give a deeper flavor profile to the dish. I went ahead and tossed in my white onions and garlic that I had chopped up off of the screen. Then I had to set to the side and wash my hands. Personally, when I cook, I wash my hands a lot. It's not just for hygiene reasons, but I really don't like the feeling of like the residue that some foods leave behind or crumbs. So I wash my hands through the process. Went ahead and dried my hands off. And grab my spatula so I could go ahead and mix around this onion and garlic mixture. This, of course, was also to help create a deeper flavor profile within the meal and infuse into the oil. It was a little high, so I did have to turn it down just a little bit before I added in my ground turkey. This was about a pound of ground turkey. In my household, we personally just prefer to use ground turkey. Other ground meats just don't really hit like that for us. Ground beef is just a little too chewy, and ground chicken it's just a little too dry. So after I added that in, I definitely did step to the side again to wash my hands and get off all of the turkey residue that may have been left behind. Um, After I do that, I am gonna add in some of the seasons that you guys saw in the beginning of the video. I had just mixed those together in a little bowl on the side to create like a little seasoning mix. Chop my meat up to do that, and when I'm cooking, I season in almost every step. The thing that I don't do is salt in every step because in my household we do use reduced sodium when cooking. The way I was raised is better to or excuse me, it's better to undersalt than it is to oversalt because you can always add salt, but you can't take salt out. So I added in my seasonings. This is also this is my pink Himalayan salt that you guys see me using, so I added a couple of pinches of those. But in this process, I'm also trying to brown the meat before I go ahead and add in my tomato sauce. So after I added in the salt, flick that off my hands, or rinse it off, dry my hands, and then I got to browning and mixing the meat, mixing all the flavors together. After I did that, it was time for me to add in the tomato sauce. Now, I use my can openers from the Dollar Tree. I shop at the Dollar Tree for damn near everything, but Dollar Tree count your fucking days with this goddamn can opener. It was not working for me, so I definitely did struggle a little bit. But once I got that open, I added in one full can. Then I grabbed another can, struggled with that one Dollar Tree. I added in about half of that can, like in total. And I was raised by some OGs, so when you got a little bit of sauce left in your cans and your bottles and stuff, add a little water in, give it a little mix so you can get everything out of there. Toss that in there. Gave that a mix. I didn't want a sauce that was too saucy, nor did I want a sauce that was too meaty. I felt like this was the perfect balance for me. Got that all mixed together. Definitely did add in some more seasoning, just not all the seasons that you guys saw in the beginning. I took out a few, but I added that in there, mixed that up, and let that cook together. Let everything and all the flavors blend nicely. When that was done, this is how my sauce was looking, and it actually did come out pretty good. I went ahead and scooped that off and set that off to the side so it could cool down. After I cleaned out the pan, I went ahead and added some water and some salt. On these cooking shows that I'll be watching, they did suggest that heavily salting in water helps the pasta come out better. I gave it a try in this dish. I didn't really spot too much of a difference, but it is what it is. I used about half of the lasagna box, but honestly and truthfully, I think I only ended up using like 4 noodles in total. Um, so I had some extra noodles left over, and I just used that to make a whole nother dish. These noodles didn't take too long to boil. I just made sure I covered them up, let them get to boiling. This how my meat sauce was looking. It came out very good. I was very happy with the results. Once I got to boiling, it was about time for me to take them out. I want to say it took about like 10, 15 minutes. Not even a full 15 minutes, but on this skillet, it didn't take too long to boil. Anyways, time for me to take those out. I started scooping those out and everything was going fine. But for some reason, around the fourth or fifth noodle, my fork started giving me a problem. So I did have to cut the camera so I could go ahead and finish scooping all of that out. After I cut the camera, it was time for me to start building up the lasagna. So those were the noodles. That's the meat sauce. That's the little loaf pans from the Dollar Tree. These I love to bake with these, especially in the Ninja Foodie. It fit perfect. I had some shredded cheese ready. Then I went ahead and cut the noodles down to size for the loaf pan. I went ahead and added in a little bit of sauce at the bottom just so the noodles don't stick too much. After I added that sauce in, it was time for me to layer. I had to get that mixing around first. So I put the noodle in, and then I added in a hefty scoop of my sauce. After I did that, I did go ahead and add in some cheese. Now, for me, I think green onion go on everything. I love me some green onion. I literally add it to everything. So yes, y'all are gonna see me use some green onion in this layer. It is what it is. That's how I like my food. Sprinkle some green onion on there, and then I went ahead and repeated the process. Had it on the noodle, sauce, cheese. Then I sprinkled some parsley sauce or some parsley flakes and some basil flakes on top, just for the look. It came out looking pretty good. Um, After that, so I did that like 3 more times, so it was yeah, 2 loaves per person. That was enough for dinner. And the next day, the process was coming out pretty well. This is how they ended up looking. These were definitely hella good. There was a 10 out of 10, and I definitely love what I did. Thank y'all for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you.